There is no spoon.
You're watching the Air Warfare channel. This is Juice, everybody. And in this video, I'm not going to try and give you a bunch of philosophical bullshit to tell you how maybe the Razbam and ED dispute is your problem, or it's your fault, or it's somebody's fault. I am not going to try to convince you that DCS is like a box of Legos and it's what you want to build for it. I'm not even going to try to argue with those that say DCS is only a game, it's not a digital combat simulator, or vice versa. I'm simply going to be blunt and to the point about why I decided to walk away from Razbam. And I'll tell you how and why it was so easy. So let's get started. In case you didn't already know, I had never planned on buying the F-15E Strike Eagle. For me, the air superiority fighter, the pure F-15C, is the mission set that I like. And unfortunately, until recently, we didn't have a DCS module that was a full fidelity F-15C. But that's coming, and that's a whole different story. Now, I started out thinking, well, I don't really want to invest in this airplane because I've got other stuff that I don't fly enough. That it's an air-to-ground roll. I already predicted that most of you guys were going to come right out of the box saying it sucks in a dogfight. Well, yeah, it sucks in a dogfight. But when I saw the release trailers and I saw the energy behind it and I saw the feedback that some of you guys were saying, as a matter of fact, a lot of my friends and a lot of you on the comments recommended that I try it. So I went out and tried it. And I bought it, and I didn't buy it until I did a challenge. And I offered a fundraiser for the Air Force Aid Society. If you guys could collectively raise $100 for Air Force Aid Society, I will chip in some, and then I will go out and buy the F-15 Strike E with my own money. And I did. And I went out and purchased it, paid a little bit more, but not the full price when it goes to full release module. And you know what? It was actually enjoyable to fly. I actually liked it. I got with some friends like Bogey Dope and Prickly and did some flights. As a matter of fact, our guy Banjo and AWG Down Under, down in Australia, he came up with some knee boards for it that we put up on our community tab, which we have since taken down because, as you guys know, the channel is transitioning away from primarily doing DCS videos. We're about air warfare first, and it's not even the air warfare group anymore. It's called the Air Warfare channel. And what we do is we present combat-related content, whether it be museum tours, interviews with people, simulation training, other stuff like that. But it's not necessarily about DCS. And in an effort to transition away from that, I want to close up some loose ends about why I left Razbam. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought the F-15 Strike Eagle was going to be a great platform for, like forward air control airborne, fast FAC in the air for our CSAR missions. I thought it was going to be great because it allowed you to put somebody else in the back that could do the FAC while you got another pilot doing the tactical stuff up front. So with that, I'll tell you exactly how and why I decided to leave Razbam or walk away from them and not look back. But before I explain how, let me tell you why. Now, number one, right off the top, I spoke with Nick Gray of Eagle Dynamics, and he explained to me the history behind this before this ever went public in April of 2024. And basically, without going into the details, Razbam used a proprietary piece of software to get a contract to do something that was not within their license agreement for a product that Eagle Dynamics is related to or partnered with. And the situation came to light through Eagle Dynamics management, and they approached Razbam and said, hey, we need to talk about this. This is not right. We need to fix it. And Razbam basically, according to Eagle Dynamics, said it's not a problem. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Hey, you're only getting one side of the story. So I reached out multiple times to Ron Zambrano through their website, through their email. I gave them plenty of opportunities to come tell their side of the story, and they couldn't. And that was another indicator to me that they are trying to control the narrative through social media posts and through YouTube videos and through conspiracies that you guys are helping to feed on this subject. And you know what? I'll tell you, for me, everything that I understand about the video game business and contracts and contractual agreements when it comes to license agreements, and what you can use and can and can't use stuff for to develop, for profit, it made total sense to me. Now, when I made the decision that I was going to turn this module back in for a refund, for a credit, for DCS, I made it because it was easy. It was easy for me because of the perceived foul that I saw, that I felt that the Eagle Dynamics had suffered at the hands of Razbam simulations. Remember, Eagle Dynamics has multiple companies. Razbam is just one. And if they are the bad actor, you're going to do whatever you can to bring them to the negotiation table to have them fix the problem. And a good way to do that is, okay, let's put stop payment on that check. We're not paying you until you come to the table and resolve this. Now, it wasn't hard for me to do this because, one, the F-15 Strike Eagle was the only Razbam module that I owned. I don't own the Mirage or the MiG-19 Farmer. I don't own the Harrier, and I will never own another Razbam module. I do have the map by them, but even then, I didn't pay for it because I was one of the testers that got to help build it, help with the developers that build it. And they are a separate company than the Razbam airplane division. Now that I've told you why I made this decision, let me tell you how I went about turning back in the module. Because I own DCS through the standalone version, I don't have to go through Steam. As a matter of fact, if you want to do this, you can't do it through Steam. DCS through their standalone website offers users there 10% back on most modules as a credit, bonus points, miles system that you can use on future purchases. And if you think this is unfair as a Steam user, that you don't get that extra 10% back or anything, let me tell you the truth. Eagle Dynamics is subsidizing you to play on Steam by a tune of 30%. That means that for every dollar that you spend on your purchases through Steam, Eagle Dynamics has to pay 30 cents of that to Valve Corporation as a commission. So before you complain that Eagle Dynamics is unfair by giving standalone users benefits like extra sales and bonus points, realize that they're already paying 30% considered to 10%. Now, if you want to support Eagle Dynamics in the future, I would convert to the standalone and move away from Steam. I did it pretty soon after getting into DCS 10 years ago, and I haven't looked back. So what exactly did I do to turn my module back in? Well, I went to the support page on the Eagle Dynamics website. You can find that through the tabs. I opened a support ticket and I simply put in there that I wanted to return the F-15 Strike Eagle for an in-store credit with Eagle Dynamics for a future purchase. It took a while to do that depending on how many requests they get, but it was within a few days to a week or so that I got my refund applied to my account, and I have a credit right here of $63.99 that I plan to use when I do my Finney flight this June from DCS to go start traveling and doing more stuff outside of the computer sim pit. I want to use that money to get someone, do a giveaway through the community through you guys. So stay tuned to the channel if you want to see some of that. If you guys have any comments or questions about this, think about what you're saying. I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that are tinfoil hat wearers that think, oh no, this is not right, this is Eagle Dynamics screwed up or Razbam screwed up. You know what? It doesn't matter. We all are old enough and responsible enough to know that we basically have things we can control and things we can't control, and it's how we deal with it that shows our level of maturity and responsibility on how we handle things like this for our own happiness. I wish you guys all well. I do hope to see you in future videos, and I hope you guys stick around for some of the content that's going to come after the DCS phase. Now, don't get me wrong, we'll still be using DCS to demonstrate certain things, but it won't be on a large scale. As a matter of fact, we're not even in the DCS Discord YouTube creators feed anymore because we asked to be pulled out of there. It was a little confusing. A lot of guys thought we were a gamer site, and we're not. We're about air warfare. So if you want to be a follower, please do. We encourage that. It really helps us out. It motivates us to keep chugging along. Thanks again for watching, guys, and stay safe. Summer's coming soon.